This is Dr. Phil Chavez of the Men's Academy. June 29th is the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, a feast of the highest rank that honors the martyrdom of the two saints under Emperor Nero sometime between 64 and 68 AD. Now, overlooking the Roman Forum is this 17th century church behind me of San Giuseppe del Falegnami, meaning Saint Joseph of the Carpenters, which stands above the ancient Mamertine prison, where according to ancient accounts, St. Peter and St. Paul were detained before their executions. Now, as early as the year 258, there exists evidence of celebrating the solemnities of Peter and St. Paul on the same day. Yet, there are grounds they died on different days, even different years. But these two giant saints are united as founders of the Church of Rome through their preaching, their ministry, and their martyrdom there. Saints Peter and Paul were two very different men, yet both fundamental to the establishment of the church. These apostles are like complementary brothers, bound by the gospel, the union between two worlds. The pagan one represented by the Gentiles, whom St. Paul evangelized, and the Jews, the first chosen people, whom St. Peter taught. Now, Peter was crucified upside down, and later St. Paul was beheaded outside the city. These two found their resting places in the basilicas of St. Peter in Vatican City and St. Paul outside the walls of Rome. Now, what's interesting is these two amazing structures actually face each other from opposite sides of the city, as if watching over Rome in their sights. Halfway between the two lies this Mamertine prison behind me. Now, even until the end, Peter and Paul were converting and baptizing. Not only did a number of their fellow inmates in the Mamertine prison behind me become Christians, but also their jailers, Processus and Martinian, converted. The two apostles were reported to have caused an underground spring to miraculously rise up from the prison floor so they could baptize these new Christians. Processus and Martinian also became witnesses to Christ as martyrs. Their feast day actually falls only 3 days later on July 2nd. Now, in the year 395, St. Augustine of Hippo said of Saints Peter and Paul, both the apostles share the same feast day. These two were one, and even though they suffered on different days, they were as one. Peter went first, Paul followed. And so we celebrate this day made holy for us by the apostles' blood. Let us embrace what they believed, their life, their labors, their suffering, their preaching, and their confession of faith.